It's time to predict week 8 of the Premier League. It's not just going to be me predicting, it's going to be ChatGPT and the random football scoreline generator. Who's better at predicting? A human or these two geezers? Well, let's find out. Starting at the City ground, it's Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea. And Chelsea, after the international break, you're going to have 6 out of your 10 unavailable players back, including Cole Palmer. That is good to know for squad depth. And they have shown their squad depth this season throughout the entire season, haven't they, Chelsea? They really have, because they've had loads of injuries, loads of suspensions, and still they are doing well. I know you might think before the Liverpool game they did lose a bit. They only got a point against Brentford, which are in 16th. And I do see where you come from. And yes, they did beat Liverpool when Liverpool are at their worst. They still won against Benfica in the Champions League, 1-0. And still beating Liverpool is still a great achievement, even when Liverpool aren't looking their best. It's still a hard side to beat. And Moises Caicedo, if he has a game like he did against Liverpool, I'm sorry Nottingham Forest and Ange Postecoglou, you've got no chance. Ange Postecoglou has not started off the season that well under Nottingham Forest. I mean, they're 1 point above the relegation zone. Although I do feel like they were unlucky against Sunderland to not get a point or even 3, still, against Newcastle, they deserve to lose. But they were pretty decently solid defensively. For a lot of the game, the defence was quite hard to break down, and now and again there were some scarce moments with Morgan Gibbs-White, but I can't see Nottingham Forest scoring any more than a goal in this game, because Chelsea are just better, and I haven't been incredibly impressed with Nottingham Forest, so I think Chelsea had this one in the bag.
Chelsea's pressing and transition speed give them an edge over a Forest side that struggles when pinned in. I see 2-1 to Chelsea. Chelsea should find enough through balls to split Forest's back line.
Over to the Stadium of Light, Sunderland versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. How are Sunderland going to react after losing 2-0 against Manchester United? Well, I think because they're at home, automatically Sunderland aren't losing this. And I don't see Wolves losing this. Wolverhampton Wanderers, I said it in my last Premier League prediction video, they really surprised me against Tottenham. And even surprised me against Brighton. I mean, they were 1-0 up in both those games till right near the end. So you know what, Wolves? I don't see you losing, even going to a very hard stadium to play at the Stadium of Light. I think it's going to be reasonably low scoring. Wolves are going to create a lot of chances, but Robin Russ is going to be there to stop them. It's down the middle for me. 1-1. I'm sitting on the fence.
Sunderland's elevation and enthusiasm help them control early phases, but Wolves tend to take control late with experience. I'm calling 2-1 to Wolves. Expect them to come alive after 60 minutes.
Over to a relegation dogfight. It's at Turf Moor. It's Burnley versus Leeds United. Burnley, they lost 2-1 to Aston Villa. And they don't look bad. They really have made every game a very close game. Even against Man City in that first half. And at half time it was 1-1. And players like Jadon Anthony are getting good amount of goals. And defensively they're obviously pretty decent at times. But I still felt like against Aston Villa, the way Aston Villa ripped open 5 at the back Burnley with just 2 players. The way that happened, I am thinking Leeds United's got this one in the bag. But Dominic Calvert-Lewin is an amazing striker. And he is the one. He will become more clinical, but he's a fantastic striker. Great at holding up the ball. Great at getting into fantastic positions. Great moving with the ball. Great link-up play with Leeds United players. But he's just not clinical. And that is a problem. But I don't think Leeds United are going to lose. But I don't think they're going to win. If this was at Ellen Road, I'll be strongly going 2-0 to Leeds United. But because Burnley have still shown signs in areas, and with Burnley having Martin Dubravka in goal, I could imagine some of Calvert-Lewin's shots getting stopped because Martin Dubravka is a really good goalkeeper. It was a shame to see him leave Newcastle, because he could easily start. But I am going 1-1. And Leeds United probably will dominate this. But like against Tottenham, when they dominated loads of the stats, even expected goals, they still didn't manage to get away with 3 points or 1 point. Like against Bournemouth, they should have got 3 points. They still bottled it, drawing it 2-2. So even if Leeds United dominate, which they will, it's going to be hard to break that Burnley defence. Under Scott Parker as well.
Burnley get physical and throw bodies at you, but Leeds have more tools on the wings and in attack. That's why I'm going 2-1 to Leeds United. They'll win by breaking Burnley's structure.
Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park versus AFC Bournemouth, and Crystal Palace. No, your streak's ended. I cannot believe this. That was your longest streak of not losing, I think, ever. But then you lost against Everton. But to be fair, you had a fantastic game. The positives to take out from a loss, an ending of what is a fantastic streak, is that you did it in style. You ended it in style because you could have definitely scored more than 1 goal in that game against Everton. The first half, you were brilliant. And even in the second half, you had a couple of real clear-cut chances to score. Like, I don't know how Mateta's missing that. He should be scoring that. But still, Crystal Palace, you are amazing. And at home, I think you're not going to lose this. I still feel like playing in the Conference League alongside it hasn't really affected Crystal Palace at all, in my opinion. But facing Bournemouth, they're not winning. Semenyo looks better than ever. Each time he runs at opposition defenders, the defenders are pooing their pants because of how a physical, fast presence just running at them. And they just move out the way and get out-strengthed when Semenyo's on the ball. And not just that, Kluivert scored an absolute screamer, on top of a fantastic dribbled goal by Semenyo. Wow. Kluivert as well into the mixer, alongside Semenyo. Bournemouth are definitely going to score a couple of goals. But like I said, I'm going 2-2. And Crystal Palace, I don't see losing. So they're going to have to counter Bournemouth's attack by scoring 2 goals.
Crystal Palace often set up deep and soak pressure. AFC Bournemouth rely heavily on quick counters, especially with Evan Elson. I'm going 2-1 to Bournemouth. Palace may not have the attacking spark to match much.
Over to the Amex Stadium, Brighton and Hove Albion versus Newcastle United. This is going to be a close game. Of course it is. In fact, you could say every single Premier League encounter from now on is going to be a close game. Because I've never seen a Premier League where all the teams, in terms of quality, are this close together. In my opinion, it's so close, and these two teams definitely are in quality. But I still feel like Newcastle are better overall. Now, Newcastle did have quite a slow start in the Premier League in terms of not scoring. But now they've started to score, Newcastle, winning 4-0 against Union. A really comfortable 2-0 win against Nottingham Forest. And a striker in Nek Voltemada's calibre, being very confident, scoring penalties, scoring open play goals, is definitely going to give Newcastle the edge in this. Newcastle have momentum now. They didn't at the start of the season, but now they do. And if you think about it, throughout the entire season, in terms of performances, whether Newcastle lost, drew or win, Newcastle have always played amazing, or at least good and plausible. And the only times Newcastle have lost is against, let's have a look, first place Arsenal and second place Liverpool. Literally the 2 best teams in the Premier League. That's the only loss. And Newcastle have 5 clean sheets in 7 Premier League games and got a clean sheet in the Champions League, winning 4-0. So winning 1-0 away from home against Brighton is definitely realistic. I actually had this 1-1 and I've only recently changed it now. And I know Brighton have played well. I still feel like dropping points against last place isn't convincing. But still, Brighton will give it their all. But I just think Newcastle defensively are really good. And Newcastle, obviously Livermento's injured and Lewis Hall's injured. But trust me, Dan Burn should be able to play. And Newcastle still have depth, really good squad depth to counter-attack any form of injuries. So I'm confident 1-0 Newcastle.
Brighton's patient build-up and midfield rotations make them tough at home, but Newcastle can switch gears and hit you late. So 2-1 to Newcastle United. An away goal from the break wins it for them.
Over to the Etihad Stadium. It's Manchester City versus Everton. And Manchester City are going to win this. It's simple as that. 2-0 to Manchester City. Everton, this is not the Hill Dickinson Stadium, this is the Etihad Stadium. You might be unbeaten there, but you're not unbeaten away from home. And Man City, they have Erling Haaland. Holland? They've got Erling Haaland, okay? They are going to absolutely stomp over Everton with Erling Haaland. Especially if Everton, you got any form of shadow of what your first half performance was against Crystal Palace. Any form of shadow of that coming into this, they will be exploited. It doesn't matter if Jack Grealish scored his first goal and he's really happy. Man City are just a different kettle of fish.
Even missing Rodri, Man City have the squad depth. Everton's defensive consistency is improving, but not world class. I'm leaning 2-1 to Man City. They'll dominate possession and find a way through.
It's Fulham versus Arsenal, and Fulham, you lost. I mean, in the Premier League, the late drama is not stopping. This is the most late drama I have ever seen within a Premier League season, and it's only 7 games in. I mean, it's amazing. It was like 0-0 for the majority of the game. Nothing properly happening. And then it just opened up and they lost it 3-1. So I don't think it was a terrible performance by Fulham, but I don't think the performance that you've shown and the performances throughout the entire Premier League season so far is convincing enough to say that you can even get a point against Arsenal. Arsenal, you're now top of the league by a point above Liverpool, and you're going to win again, 2-0 in another London derby. They show their squad depth as a real positive Arsenal. Zubimendi coming on the pitch allows Declan Rice to flourish in a different position, and still allows Declan Rice's previous role in the game in a deeper position to be effective with Zubimendi. And overall, even if Odegaard is injured and he's not actually available, I don't know whether he is, coming into this game, they've still got Eze, which against Man City, he kind of put that absolutely fantastic pass through to Martinelli to get a point against Man City, for example, and he's brilliant. So they've got the squad depth, they're fine, they're first, and they're going to continue after the international break to win 2-0.
Fulham are solid at home and thrive when Arsenal control possession. Arsenal's attacking lineup will still pose a threat down both wings. I'm predicting a 1-1 draw. A shocker, I know, but I think Arsenal won't be able to break them down completely, and Fulham don't have enough to win.
Over to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur versus Aston Villa. And after the international break, Aston Villa should have all 5 of their current injuries back, including Ollie Watkins. He should be fit enough going into this game, which him alongside Milan, you know what, that could work. I mean, they've been struggling to score throughout the entire season, Aston Villa. Maybe putting Milan in there could really work. And maybe eventually, surely over time, the likes of Harvey Elliott and Jadon Sancho has to start performing, especially under a great manager Unai Emery. So I don't see you losing against Tottenham. But Tottenham, I don't see you losing because you beat Leeds United 2-1. And overall, you are 3rd in the table. It's going to be close, but a Desmond Tutu is probably fair.
Villa have talent, but Spurs are more dangerous in the final third. I say 2-1 to Spurs. Home side edges a tight, high-tempo affair.
Liverpool versus Manchester United. Liverpool, they've got an international break to actually think about what's happening. There's been so many changes in the Liverpool squad that I think it's slightly hindered them. Even when they've been winning Premier League games, Liverpool, they have still looked a bit off. And that has now shown after they've been going on a losing streak. Losing again against Chelsea, after already losing against Crystal Palace, after losing against Galatasaray in the Champions League. But it's going to stop eventually. Arne Slot, I think, has enough experience in managing football that he can figure out to maybe change up in the midfield, find the right fullback to play in the next game, whether that's Szoboszlai, Connor Bradley, Frimpong, but he will find something. And at home, against the Man United, which yes, did beat Sunderland 2-0, and well done, and Sesko starting to score, I still feel like they're still they are the most inconsistent side out of any side in the Premier League, Manchester United. So losing this game could easily happen after winning against Sunderland. So I feel like if Liverpool would return on winning form, this is the game they would do it. I'm going 2-1 to Liverpool, especially at Anfield.
At Anfield, Liverpool's tempo and press should be too much. I'm going 3-1 to Liverpool because Manchester United struggle to cope with sustained pressure, and Liverpool's front line looks ruthless. It just seems inevitable.
Right, to the London Stadium. West Ham United versus Brentford. Another London derby. West Ham under Nuno Espirito Santos is going to be a hit. West Ham are winning this 3-2. Let's just go for a bizarre scoreline. Why not? It's going to have late goals all over it. Practically every game in the Premier League has been like that, like I've already mentioned. But at the London Stadium, West Ham, with the likes of Somerville, Paqueta, Jared Bowen in that attack, they are going to be ruthless going forward. And I'm sorry, Brentford, I still don't think you're going to stay up. I mean, at the moment, you're on 16th, so you could easily just about stay up or go into the relegation zone. But one thing we can agree on, you're in a relegation battle. And West Ham, I think, are looking a bit defensively better under Nuno. And overall, maybe counter-attacking in this game is going to be where they're going to be getting their goals. Especially when someone like Somerville can break really quickly down that left flank because he is fast. And someone like Paqueta can ping a ball into the box. And someone like Jared Bowen can just dribble past the entire side and score. So I think West Ham will win this. And Nuno, we've seen what we've done with Nottingham Forest. So at home against what is possibly a must-win and probably one of the more winnable games of the Premier League, I definitely can see West Ham winning. But the reason why I've gone a bit high scoring is because Igor Thiago is playing really well and Kevin Schade is playing really well. And in that Man City game when Brentford lost 1-0, they could have easily got a goal because there was a few scares for Man City with the likes of Kevin Schade and Igor Thiago. Especially that one-on-one with Donnarumma with Igor Thiago. That was a really close chance to score. So because of their attack, Brentford, it's going to score goals. But because Nuno's in charge of West Ham, because I think West Ham are a better side and they're at home, and I think West Ham are more desperate to get a victory because they are in 19th, West Ham, I think West Ham will counteract Brentford's 2 goals and score 3.
West Ham United have firepower and transition ability. Brentford defend well, but struggle under sustained pressure. I'll pick 2-1 to the home side. West Ham. They rotate better and exploit counter spaces.
8 2-1s. ChatGPT, I think there's a glitch in your system to get 8 2-1s for predictions. You can tell this is an AI bot when it predicts 2-1s all throughout. But who is my goal of the week for week 7? It is Semenyo. Look, Caicedo scored a screamer. Kluivert scored a screamer. But Semenyo, his skill to get past the Fulham player and strength and skill to Megs the goalkeeper is just too good to not give it goal of the week. But the scores are on the doors. I got 6 points last week, which is meh, okay. ChatGPT got 10 points, getting 3 exact predictions correct. And obviously the random football scoreline generator getting its usual 3 points, which it seems to be defaulting at. Overall, that puts me level with ChatGPT. 39 points for me, 39 points for ChatGPT, and then obviously the random football scoreline generator on 21 points. But hopefully you're gonna have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Toodaloo.